Welcome, everybody. Very, very lovely to be with you all. It's so lovely to recognize ourselves as one. To meet without being somebody, without referring to the past, without any judgment. Meeting freshly, as this simple presence, this simple being awareness. So in such meeting, there is no separation. There is love. One could say God's love shining. So for now, let us welcome ourselves and welcome each other and welcome our experience without knowing. With innocence. Openness. We allow our experience to be just as it is. Without trying to direct our experience towards any goal. Let the mind be as it is. There is no yesterday and no tomorrow. In actuality, in fact. This moment has its own sufficiency, its own completeness. And there is no one standing apart. Isness is what it is. And you are this isness, this beingness, and not a limited object, not what you imagine yourself to be. Feelings, sensations appear to you, like hearing these words appear to you. Like the breath, this gentle movement of the body appears to you. You are this borderless aware space. Dancing within itself as a heartbeat, as hearing, sensing, like water takes on the form of wavelets or bubbles. That which you perceive is your very self in motion. The waves are water in motion. It is the movement of water which we call waves. Similarly, it is consciousness, awareness, your very self, which is manifesting as manifestation from itself to itself. Whatever you imagine is your creation and your perception simultaneously. You create and you perceive out of your infinite freedom and your infinite creative potential. There is no entity, no personal self, nobody who awakens or does not awaken. When clouds appear, veiling the infinite sky, and a gust of wind appears and dispels the clouds. The wide open sky is revealed to have always been there, irrespective of clouds veiling it or not. You are the wide open sky. And the veil, the clouds, in this metaphor, is the belief that you are something else. The belief that you are a person, a limited entity, somebody with a history, a past and a future. You overlook that you are not defined by that which appears to you. You are not defined by thoughts, memories, sensations, world events, events in the body. You are not defined by that which appears and disappears. Awakening is the simple understanding that you are invisible, borderless, non-local, impersonal awareness, presence. All sorts of forms may appear to you. World circumstances may appear to you. They appear to you out of your very creation. They do not appear to you out of a separate reality. You are the creator of the entire show and the perceiver of the entire show. And you've designed it so that certain body minds respond in certain ways to situations. You've designed the entire play. You've designed the intelligence within the body to respond. You've designed the world with its galaxies and its skies and gravitational fields. You've designed thought, sensations. You've designed ignorance and the path from ignorance, beyond ignorance, out of ignorance. You are the designer and the player, the choreographer and the performer. There is no reality outside of the changeless, consciousness, the formless, non-phenomenal reality which right now perceives and hears and is. You know you are. You have always known that you are. You play the game of not knowing. You play the game of being somebody, which is the game of limitation and worry and concern. But life is a playground out of your creation, a playground for your enjoyment and not for your misery. You are here and you understand these words somehow because you have the understanding, because the understanding is yours. You already know that which you are looking for. You will not be satisfied with anything else. Whenever you are not knowing, you are that which you are. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hand by using the reaction icon in the bottom of the screen, or simply unmute yourself. You're welcome to turn on your video so you can see each other. So any questions?
I have a question, Mandy. I'm in 2 weeks, I'm going to see my 93-year-old mother who was put in hospice recently. We have a lifetime of difficult relationship.
Then can you raise your volume a little bit?
I'm so sorry, yes.
Oh, it's okay.
I don't know how to do that.
Okay, well, then just maybe speak louder a little bit.
Maybe if somebody else has a question, I can switch to a different mic or something. I'll talk louder. Is that better?
Okay, yes, okay.
Anyway, I'm 71, she's 93. She was obviously a very young mother. It was a difficult situation. I made the decision at a very early age, probably toddlerhood, that it wasn't safe to ask for help, that I had to figure everything out for myself. And I did that, and I lived like that. And I've changed. We actually haven't had any contact for the last 3 years. All this is to say, I am hoping, I think it's going to be the hugest test of any kind of shift I've had to go be with my mother. And it's probably going to be the last time. I want to remain as who I really am. I don't expect to be pulled. I don't have expectations, but there is nervousness about being pulled into. She's very tricky. She lives in the past. I've already expressed that I hope that we can meet without discussing the past, that I was done with the past. I said, no blame, no guilt, that I understand that now that nobody chooses their thoughts and they make decisions based on that. And so I'd like to meet her fresh.
Mm-hmm.
She's been a piece of work, but she's definitely loosened up as she's aged. And she wrote me back that she also wants to have a loving conversation. So I've laid the groundwork. I hope for a different kind of meeting, more on my terms rather than hers in this case, or on God's terms. I want there to be spaciousness, and I hope I want to know what you have to say to me.
Well, I like God's terms better than her terms or your terms. And God's terms are terms of love and understanding and intelligence, and compassion. God's terms are not terms of conditions, or expectations, or explanations, or justifications, or repairing the past, or it's always in the moment of presence, of responding, listening with patience and openness, and responding with kindness and love and understanding. And at this point in one's life, I wouldn't be so concerned, as you said, about the past, about fixing any.
Not fixing. If the
Yes.
thing is that that's all she wants to talk about, and I have a problem with
Yes.
that. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm hoping that if I can remain present, that will shift the conversation.
What I found to be helpful with my mom, in her old days, was a humor. Somehow, just sharing my experience, was able to sort of joke around the past, and
That's what I've been trying to do.
the foolishness of humanity, our foolishness. I found that to be helpful. She was able to sort of tune in with that, with the humor, with the silliness, the ridiculousness of humanity, and how sometimes we act in such silly ways.
She always thinks I'm laughing at her. Oh, I've been a laugher. I've had to use humor all my life in order to have any kind of spaciousness in our relationship. And she takes so much personally, or she has. I'm going to also assume she's changed. I'm not going to keep her trapped either.
If you are feeling the love, she will feel the love. If you are.
So define the love. This is the thing that's been going on, is the emptiness. I don't feel devotional love, so I don't know how to love her.
No, not like that. No, it's. When you are not retaining anything, you're sitting with an old lady. You don't have to be her daughter. You're just sitting with an old lady, saying hi. How you doing? You don't need any strategy to do that. It's just visit her without
You're right.
any agenda.
This is me protecting myself. I'm trying to not have an agenda, but I have automatically.
Well, you don't want to make an agenda out of, you don't want to sort of be spontaneous, If you have an agenda or ahead of time, then you have to see it, just be clear that you have an agenda, and to understand that, or be ready to be most likely disappointed, that your agenda most likely will not be met, to be completely okay with that, you see. Not to try to push your agenda. Okay, you may have an agenda of reconciling, whatever, but you don't know how things will unfold, you see.
I gave up on reconciliation a long time ago.
Yeah,
I've grieved already a long time ago. I'm ready for this to be over, to be honest with you. I'm doing this. I'm coming because she asked me to. I would love to have some awareness of her as the divine. And I've been working for a while on letting go of my preconceptions of her also. I want to free myself. I want to free her in terms of the polarity of our relationship.
But
Is that an agenda?
freedom, I mean, freedom is reality. Freedom is truth. It's not somebody who's going to free somebody else, or freedom is freedom is. So wanting to free yourself or free her, all of that is on the relative level, because there isn't an actual personal you or actual personal her. Is just consciousness, just relationship is the play of consciousness. There isn't a personal entity that is free or not free. So it's something erroneous about wanting to free her or free yourself. First, you need to realize that in your direct experience, there's just this moment of presence, of beingness, of awareness, taken on the form of this conversation. There is nothing behind the scene that you need to sort of become aware of or protect, or somebody who's running the show from behind the scene. It's just that is which creating the scene is within the scene. The entire scene is not apart, is not separate from the creator and the perceiver of the scene. So any agenda refers to some fictitious entity, and therefore is a fictitious agenda. And any ideas that you have about your mother are fiction, because all of that is gone and done. All the past is completely gone and done. And right now, it's just this. When I say this, I mean this aware presence, this loving intimacy, because in this moment is intimacy. And the two are actually one. In this moment of being, always in the moment is complete intimacy, which is love, which is non-duality. So to meet the quotes unquote other, not as another, no other, sort of being, it's just with yourself as it's unfolding. You don't know moment by moment what she's going to say, what you're going to say. But you can notice, or invite yourself to notice, whenever you are making an image of yourself or of her. And at that moment, you don't need to continue in building this image or maintaining this image, because you are limiting her and you're limiting yourself to an image. You're limiting. And she's going to sense that limitation. And you are going to sense it too. And because we don't like limitation, we're going to push back. So
that's the story of our relationship.
yeah, but
Right
it's
there.
not, there is no story in this moment, right?
Right.
Who cares about the story of our relationship?
Well,
don't
kind of
care.
what I told her was that I was done with the past and
Yeah, but
it's
maybe,
over,
maybe she's not. Okay,
but
so,
she's not. Yeah.
but what matters is that you're not trying to give power to the past and reality to the past also, and try to convince her that she can let go of the past. No, because
No, I'm not.
you're,
I just wanted her to know that I'm done, that I'm not going to be bringing it up so that
well, she may hear you, she may not. We don't know. We don't know. So you have to be open to both possibilities, that she's going to hear you or not. And if she won't hear you and she still wants to drag you in the past, then you have the creative way in the moment to dance around this, not to buy into that, the belief in the reality of time, and not to buy into the reality of the past. So you don't know how it's going to unfold, but as long as you are as much as possible turning your attention to presence and to simplifying the encounter, simplifying, not to make it complicated, and as much as possible be loving, as much as possible be understanding, listen, and as much as possible don't expect her to be anything else but what she is. You don't know how or how she will appear to you, but who cares? You can let her appear whichever way she's appearing to you, to herself. You don't need to get to work on it. You don't need to work on it.
okay. I understand. Thank you.
Just maybe you guys can laugh together. I don't know. Possibly.
Well, that's who she wants me to be, the one that keeps her entertained.
You know,
I don't have a problem with that.
yeah, it's her trick, you know.
Thank
But
you.
somehow when we are not playing the game of ignorance, it has an effect. There is an effect.
That's what I'm hoping, that I'll have that support of the universe.
Yes, the universe is always supporting you. It's always the universe, which is universal. It's never you as a person. It was the universe that's universal.
May I share a thought with Lynn?
Yes, hello, Carol.
Hi.
Hi.
What came to mind immediately for me is my 93-year-old mother passed away exactly 10 years ago, just a few days ago. And we didn't have the greatest relationship either until the last couple of years of her life. And I think we resolved things as good as we were going to. And then I saw the Jack Nicholson movie, As Good as It Gets. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. It's been a while.
Just the thought of that movie brought enough humor to my resolution of the whole thing, to laugh and be able to accept whatever it was as what it was, and just love her and let it be. And I just wanted to share that with you.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank
Also,
you. That's
things-
beautiful, Carol.
things as are perfect as they are. Even our struggles in relationships, somehow they serve a purpose. To remind us that that's not what we want, and that's not what we enjoy, that's not what we love.
In a sense, I want to thank her. I want to thank her for the difficulty, because it's what propelled me through this path, through my life, through the true path. But I think she would be insulted. You know what I'm saying? It's thank you for being a bitch, Mom.
You can just hug her, you know, that you don't need to put words around it.
I can just say thank you. You're right.
Yeah.
I'll shut up now. I'm sorry.
Any questions? Hello, Carl. I think you need to unmute yourself.
I don't know if it will be too noisy or not. Is it too noisy?
No, not here. No.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to comment and add to the question that Lynn was speaking of in kind of a different vein or slightly different experience that I want to share, and maybe you guys can comment about. It's somehow similar, and that similarity is like this. Say I want to share something from my heart concerning my beautiful awareness and consciousness and the beauty of being, and of the loving nature, you know, of which we're so beautifully fortunate to enjoy, you know, in the experience of being human. And so maybe I'll have something to share on Facebook, for example, and I share it only to bring joy or celebration, to communicate something that was meaningful to me, and then, well, I could do it, and then I would have the opportunity to defend, you know, to defend my statements, right? And that's like, well, maybe defending something is already a little erroneous. I'm not sure, but how it reminded me of Lynn's situation is that all of a sudden in the context of opposition to the truth, I would find myself in a defensive posture, you know, which I realized by experience is not ideal. That is because of a defensive posture sort of fuels a form of conflict, whereas I think I'm seeing things more clearly now and expect to have a chance to not defend my position, but only promote it. And if there is a opposition or a different, you know, a rebuttal, then I, in love, offer love to love itself, because every one of us is love, whether we realize it or we do not. And that's an opportunity to be you know, the voice of truth. And so I still have the opportunity to be surprised at what may come as, say, as how someone may react to something I say, and maybe the way I say it is not conveyed very well, and but I guess I'm curious as to, Magdi, you manage the Facebook site for Friends of Francis, and so I know you deal with this seeming opposition, refuting concerning the understanding that we have through Advaita Vedanta, you know, and you know, just do you have a comment about where I'm pushing this?
Yes. Okay, in the Facebook group, Friends of Francis, it's a different function. The function, the hat that I wear is different from the hat that I wear when I'm writing posts and sharing on my own Facebook page. In the Francis, the group Friends of Francis, there are certain guidelines that I'm following, the guidelines of the group to maintain the exploration and the sharing, to promote the understanding and the deepening of the understanding into Francis's teaching. So it's very specific. My role is pretty specific. When I see, for example, some of the posts or some of the comments, going in a direction that's, in my opinion, not helpful in clarifying and deepening the understanding of Francis' teaching. That's when I sort of put on the hat of the administrator. Otherwise, I just share some of Francis's teaching, and I make comments that may be helpful in clarifying, maybe expanding or sort of unfolding more the particular posts that is being shared. Now, when I'm posting on my own page, that took a while, of course, I've been posting for a few years. to come to the understanding that I am, first of all, sharing out of my own love and freedom for sharing. I'm quite prolific. I like to share. I like to expound the teaching. I like to make various, comments that refer to consciousness. So I do it because I enjoy doing it, not because I want to teach other or help other or no. It's if God wants to quotes help whatever, won't even have to lift her little fingernails and the whole world is helped. So what am I? In terms of helping others, I just do what I enjoy. I find value in what I do, in what I speak and what I share. Like a painter may find value in sharing their painting and creating a piece of art. A musician enjoys and finds value in creating and composing and performing their art. Now, in terms of doing what I love and what I enjoy, I'm also open and interested in hearing what other people are sharing, what other people are saying, and also in learning. I'm open to learning from what others, are sharing. People who are quote unquote seemingly opposing what I'm saying. I'm interested. I'm curious. I invite them to explain. Okay, if I didn't get it, explain what you mean. Or if I did get it, then I would enter into conversation with them. I would stick with my understanding because that's my understanding. And of course, they're sticking with their understanding until my understanding changes via the interaction with them. Then I say, oh, okay, so I'm not sticking with a stubborn understanding. My understanding is what it is right now. It conforms. It is in harmony with my life. It has been tested, tested in life, and the results of the test have come to me from the universe saying, yes, it resonates. Speak as you're speaking, and sometimes the universe told me, no, that you need to listen to that. You need to pay attention to that. And so I did, and I continue to do. I'm available to listen and understand, and adjust if there is something that comes to me that is a point that differs from what I'm understanding. I take a look and there's the test of it is always in my life. It has to be tested to be valid. And if it's a valid test, then of course I will not refuse it. I will take it on. So I would invite you to first do what you're doing not out of wanting to help others, but because there are no others. It's the other is your very self, but yet there is a conversation, like a dream conversation going on, as if there are others. So yes, from understanding that there are no others, you speak to others, but in fact there are no others. And so you're speaking, to yourself. You're exploring. It is your own exploration, and the others are just mirrors. And you are a mirror for others, and the others are mirrors for you. So it's just one. It's just a mirror reflecting, two mirrors reflecting into each other, talking to each other. So I would invite you to just do what you love, continue to do what you love, but be first humble, sincere in what you're saying, true to your experience. Be true to your experience. Don't need to make a compromise away from your experience until of course, your understanding changes. And be uh, open to others and like try to see the others, where the other is coming from, what they're saying, and where they're coming from. Because you may, upon understanding the other, at that moment you are the other, and you're able to say, if you are, then you are there with them, standing in their shoes, sort of, and you're experiencing what they're experiencing, and then from that perspective, knowing their experience, and also, of course, knowing yours, you'll be able to speak with connected, as a connection.
Yes, I found it to be like much like satsang, like even in the face of what seemingly may be a challenge to something that you write or propose or share, it actually coming from the openness and from like you said, a willingness to just consider the truth and as it appears to us in our own understanding, and being motivated to share something with other friends is a gracious liberty, and there's a huge opportunity to not be attached to opinion, or a specific understanding, but to be open for movement in that regard.
Yes.
And that's very sweet and liberating, and I feel it's a great opportunity to grow,
Yes, absolutely.
and I'm very thankful
Yeah.
for that. And thank you about what you said. Makes perfect sense.
Mm. Yeah, and also, there are various personalities, there's so many different flavors of people up here, and with their own personality. And I find that when you are sincere and respectful, it's, and not ambitious, no ambition. It works better this way. Remind me, where do you live, Carl?
I live in South Florida, West
Okay.
Palm Beach,
Yes. Okay.
and I had the opportunity to go to 2 retreats with Francis when he was still having them in Tampa.
Yes.
And my sister lives in Tampa too, so
Okay.
a double header,
Yes. Wonderful.
And I wish he was still appearing there, but I really, really, really want to join you guys up in Temecula. Not sure when just yet, but it's on the roster.
Lovely to see you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions? Well, if people want to hang out together, I'm going to stop the recording and you guys can hang out or not. So thank you all for your lovely company, your love, and your friendship. And Janet, Alan, Holdera, Carl, George, hello Trish, Carol, and Jim. Hola Fernando, ¿cómo está? Richard, hi Richard. Hello Mina. Malcolm, perfect. Hey, John, I don't know, KE, what the name is KE, hello KE, and my sweet Carol. Thank you all.